Hey everyone! Today we're out in northwest Indiana at a really special place, the Frame Family Little Calumet Conservation Area, which is managed by the Porter County chapter of the Izaak Walton League. This place is a hidden gem, and it's an amazing example of how local conservation groups are working to protect natural spaces and restore native habitats. But, unfortunately, like a lot of natural areas, it's being threatened by invasive species. That's why we're here today for a Weed Wrangle, a hands-on volunteer day where we help restore native habitat by removing non-native plants. And today, one of our main targets is a shrub called burning bush. And while burning bush might look pretty in the fall with its bright red leaves, burning bush is actually an aggressive invader. It was originally brought over as a landscaping plant, but now it spreads rapidly in the wild, crowding out the native plants and reducing biodiversity. So today I'll be taking you along as we roll up our sleeves, learn how to spot burning bush, and chat with some of the awesome people making this work happen. So let's get into it.
Whipping up leaves.
So here is the burning bush that we are pulling out. You can tell by the ridges on it, right there, and the pattern of the leaves. And that they have little teeth on them. So this one's gotta go. But this is what we're ripping out. We have bags of it everywhere. And unfortunately this area is covered in it. So I'm working on getting this out here.
Everyone is accounted for. We're all good except our picnic bench snack spot.
I appreciate you, but they were pushing my buttons.
Now that you've seen what burning bush looks like and what it takes to remove it, I want to share some of the voices from the people leading and supporting this work on the ground. First up is Sandy O'Brien, a passionate and knowledgeable botanist who talked with me about the bigger issue of invasive plants and why they're such a threat to ecosystems like this one and why it's important to manage them. Then we'll hear from Liz McCloskey, who's the treasurer of the Porter County chapter of the Izaak Walton League, then followed by Annette Hansen, the executive director of the Porter County chapter of the Izaak Walton League. They both speak on the Frame Family Little Calumet Conservation Area, which is the incredible property we're on today. Let's hear from them now.
Hi, I'm Sandy O'Brien, and I take care of nature for a living, and I do rain gardens and native plantings and controlled burns and ecological restoration work, a lot of invasive species, because we have to get rid of our invasive species, because if we don't, then the native plants can't be there, and the native plants and trees and shrubs are weakened or not present at all, outcrowded by the invasive species. And that's what supports our insects, and the insects support our birds. So these species from other countries, they don't support our natural world, all these plants and animals of our natural world. The invasive species don't support them. So if we want to maintain our normal Indiana native biodiversity, we have to take care of our nature preserves and make sure that they're free of invasive species and try to help them out with controlled burns, because in northwest Indiana, all of our natural areas, except the very few ones that were sheltered by, having water all around or something, they normally would be burned almost annually by the native peoples here. So we take our natural areas and burn them as much as we can, and that is good for them. It helps maintain the biodiversity and natural areas that are well taken care of with enough fire and decent invasive species control. They really sing along, and they're just some of the most beautiful places on earth, at least for botanists like me, and I think for most people they aesthetically do look the best.
Hi, my name is Liz McCluskey, and I've been with the Porter County chapter for about 10 or 12 years or so. And my husband Terry was instrumental in buying this property back in about that same time period. So we used some federal money from the settlement for the Enbridge pipeline spill in Michigan. and also some IDNR money from what was in the Heritage Trust. So this has been protected both federally and by the state, and we've been working on it all these years since then. So today we're out here trying to fight the invasive species, and as you can see by everything green behind us of the shrubbery, those are all invasives. So we've been working on it for all these years, and we're still working on it. Usually it was me or a few other people, so having all this great crew out here today is a wonderful thing to have all the help. So it's a lot of fun and at least it's a cool day, because if it was 80 degrees, I think it would be somewhat miserable.
Hello, I am Annette Hansen. I'm the Executive Director of the Porter County Chapter of the Izaak Walton League of America. And I am standing here in our Southeast Pollinator Garden. We have been working on this garden for the last 10 years. I'm also a 4-H leader with the Discovery Trackers Club. And the kids came out here in 2015 alongside some of the members, and we planted plants for milkweed. We did swamp milkweed, world milkweed, and common milkweed back then. And it took a while for those to take hold, because we learn as we go that when you plant wildflower seeds, or for them to get a good start, sometimes it can take up to 3 to 5 years. So we now can see the benefits of our efforts. We also have trees that we've put in here. They go all the way down to the back of the property for forest and woodland restoration. On the other side of the property, we have done some wetland restoration. This was a 100-year-old farm, and in doing all these restorations, we're taking it back to what nature intended in the first place. So you can see here that I get out here with my monarch counters. We look for eggs and chrysalis and caterpillars, and we count the adults, and then we collect the milkweed pods so we can share them with another one of our partners, the Pollinator Partnerships Group. They have something called the Project Wingspan, and they send all the milkweed seeds to other areas in Indiana that are kind of close to us, where they have property where they will commit to growing pollinator habitat. We're also very involved out here with bats. We do live recordings of their calls in the night between April and October, and that gives us a great body of data for our research in bat populations. We find that it's the big brown bat that we get the most of here in Northwest Indiana. We started in 2019 doing that, so we've got about 6 years under our belt now. And we originally started because we were so worried about the Indiana bat. He's a colony bat also, just like big brown, little brown. And we have not had many hits across the county on little brown bat, just a couple in those years. So that's sad that we can see a species that we can rarely get a hit on. Behind me you can see a beehive. Again, the 4-H of Porter County have been involved out here learning about beekeeping with me. We have a whole beekeeping project that we've set up just based on this kind of a situation. And I invite you anytime to come out and walk on our nature paths. If you come to 1290 North County Line Road, you can park and walk around the whole property. You'll see it's marked as you go, and you follow it on All Trails app. You can get about a mile. You'll see all kinds of our bluebird boxes are all along one side, and across the other there are about 20 different boxes that we also monitor for nesting habits and populations of bluebirds, tree swallows, wrens, chickadees. They're all allowed to stay and nest here at Frame Family Little Calumet Conservation Area. Thanks for having me.
And that wraps up today's Weed Wrangle at the Frame Family Little Calumet Conservation Area with the Porter County chapter of the Izaak Walton League. Thank you guys so much for watching. Spending the day out here really drives home how much work goes into protecting natural spaces and how rewarding it can be to be a part of that effort. Whether it's pulling invasive plants like burning bush or just learning to recognize what doesn't belong, every little bit helps to restore balance to these ecosystems. Also, a huge thanks to all the volunteers who came out today, and specifically to Sandy, Liz, and Annette for sharing their time, knowledge, and passion for this place. Also, if you're local and looking to get involved, I'll make sure to drop some links in the description so you can connect with upcoming events. And even if you're not nearby, there's always something you can do. Whether it's volunteering or spreading awareness, you can make a difference. And until next time, get outside, get your hands dirty, and help something grow.